The village of Zaria has become a symbol of the iron fist policy. On the 11th of March, Israeli troops surrounded the village, which they described as a hornet's nest of Shiite resistance. 30 people were killed. Some were shot trying to get away. Others were crushed when Israeli tanks ran over their cars. More than 100 men were arrested. 17 houses were destroyed. Riyad al-Assad is a local resistance leader.
The first week it was bad. Nobody was living here. And few men remained here. And economically it was killed. But after 2 weeks now, I would say the village is starting to return to the regime normal life. I mean, this is our land, and it's one of the things we've seen.
How reluctant have people been to come back to live here? I mean, has it been important for the resistance to get people to come back?
Well, I think without the people we cannot survive, because the resistance is not somebody that's coming, let's say, from, I don't know, Mars or Jupiter. The resistance is from the people, and it's the people. And so, it's for the people. And so what we're doing is we're trying to come back as a village. And people are coming back, and when the people come back, the resistance comes back.
Riyad al-Assad told me that he managed to escape when the Israelis entered the village. I spoke to him in the cemetery where many of the people killed by the Israeli army are now buried. Is there any possibility that you have in any way brought some of these misfortunes upon yourself? In the sense that some people might say that it would have been better to just let the Israelis withdraw rather than go for them and attack them.
It's a funny question. They always tell me, are you going to follow the Israelis into Israel? I mean, who's following who? Who is here? I mean, I'm not following them. I'm kicking them out of my country, number one. Number two, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, they would have stayed here. Because they always say, well, after all, when we first came, the Shias were throwing rice and flowers at us. They welcomed us. Now they know they're not welcome. And I'm telling them that, not by words, well, go home. They will never understand that. They understand it only by the same principle they came in, by guns. And that's the only way they will go out.
You have a sense of being victorious at this moment?
Definitely. If you look at the eyes of the Israeli soldiers, look at them. Look at the triggers. Every single day, their fingers are on the triggers. Look at the tanks. Tanks, they have all the turrets turning on the people. And they shoot at anybody. Anybody. I mean, a 4-year-old could be a terrorist. Anybody could be a terrorist. And that's that's being terrified. And when you terrify an army so large with such little means you're victorious.
You are saying that the Israeli forces, within a few weeks' time, will stand poised on the northern border of this country, just a few miles away from us, ready to go back into the Lebanon at any time, if you believe that to be necessary.
Let me define it: ready to hit back at anybody or anything which attacks Israel.
Those are words that could have been spoken back in 1982. After losing the lives of nearly 650 soldiers, Israelis are now asking what exactly they have gained in the Lebanon.